Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am working on doing a cute little baby card and also a baby gift. So I needed to get a baby gift all ready to go, and so I'm just coming down my craft space really quickly, gonna get a card and gift all set to be mailed out, and I can't wait to show you how everything turns out. So I'm gonna be basing my card off of this stamp set that I found. I'll link everything that I'm using in the description box below, but I did purchase this stamp set as well as the coordinating dies. So I'm going to be doing a card based off of this collection of stamps. I also already pulled some markers, so we're going to do some simple coloring after we stamp, and then a little bit of embossing, and then actually we'll also be doing some heat embossing as well. So lots of fun things that are going to create this card and bring it all together, and I'm really excited to show you how the card and then the following craft for the baby gift all turns out. So let's go ahead and get started with the card, and then we'll make the gift. Okay, so to start off, I am going to bring out my Misti, and this is just a stamp positioning tool that has really made stamping so easy. I really love it. It's probably my #1 recommendation for if you want to get into stamping with card making. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I grabbed a little panel here that is an A2 size panel, but I will further trim that down in just a little while. What I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to put this in my Misti. I am going to use 80 pound for my panel, but then I will switch to 110 pound for my actual card base, but I'll go over that in a little bit. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, actually this isn't going to be my panel. I think I'm just going to stamp onto this first, and then we'll build up the panel in a bit. So I am going to grab this stamp set. Let me put a little piece of cardstock underneath so you can get a pretty good idea of this collection. I just absolutely love this little set of overalls, and I just thought it was so cute. When they do stamp sets, I feel like there's a couple images that always just really steal my heart, and then I have to buy the whole thing. And for me, it was the cute little overalls, and then of course the little diapers and the little hanger. Oh my gosh, all of them are so cute. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and select which images I would like to use. So the first one I'm gonna do is this cute little pajamas. So I'll put that on there. And then I'm also going to use, of course, the overalls. This is going to be a card for a baby boy, so I'm going to kind of base the little outfits a little bit more towards a little boy, as well as kind of the colors that I'm kind of going with. Not to say that you can't do any colors you'd like. Be sure to run with this in any direction you'd like, but that's how I'm going to do it for this card. Okay, so I'm just kind of placing my stamps there. I also want to do the little birds. Super sweet. Okay, so I'll bring the birds in, and then I should be all set. I'm going to stamp this 2 times only because I feel like I'm still getting my toes wet with stamping and coloring. So I just want to make sure that I give myself an extra set to color. So I'm going to be using, let me close this so I can just clean those little stamps on there. There we go. Reposition my paper. Looks great. Okay, I'm going to be using a Memento ink, and my reason for choosing this ink is simply because I'm going to be coloring next. So I wanted to use an ink that's going to play nicely with my alcohol markers. So that would be this ink for me. Okay, stamping nicely. Let's see if we can get it in one try, but if not, we'll just double stamp it. These little images are so sweet. I love it, and I am excited about the direction of this card. I am going to restamp that. I'm seeing just a little bit of, well, not crisp lines, so I'm just going to get that one more time and make sure that my cardstock is realigned, and there we go. Okay. Okay, and that looks good. You know what though? I don't think my cardstock was originally lined up just right, so I'm going to redo that. I think I might have shifted that, even though I thought I was doing a good job. I will not cut that out of the video. I'm going to leave that in because I don't want you to think that I never make a mistake or anything. I just noticed that's a little thicker than usual, so Instead, I will just redo it on this side. Yes, see how that's a little bit bolder? I must have shifted it just a tad. So learn from my mistake and just redo. Okay, no problem. In fact, you know what? I'm going to be brave and just stamp this one time, or do one thing, little set, and I think I can probably do it with my coloring. That way I don't waste any more paper. Okay, that looks just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to the side. We can put this away. I'm going to clean up my stamps really quickly, just because if I don't, usually I forget. And then the next time I go to look for these stamps, they're going to still be in the little door because I've done that in the excitement of card making. Okay, I'm gonna put all these back and then we will get to coloring and arranging. Okay, I'm just gonna put all of these back and then I'm going to grab another panel in that 80-pound cardstock and I'm gonna do some additional stamping on the actual panel. Okay, so this is going to be my actual card panel that I'm going to stamp directly on. Before I do that though, I am going to take a little A2 layer die and I'm just going to trim this down just a hair. And I just want my panel to be slightly smaller than, is that the right size? I think that'll be perfect. I want my panel to be slightly smaller than my actual card, and I think that will just look nice. There we go. So I'm just going to run this through my machine really quickly. I'm trying not to be too jumbled, but it's a little late in the evening. I'm running down to do a quick baby gift, and so naturally, after a long day, I feel like I get a little jumbled. Okay, here we go. Let's just run this through really quickly and get this going. So that is all done, and now I have my panel that is just a tad smaller. Now what I'm going to do is I will then stamp directly on my panel here. So let me put my nice trimmed down panel right up in that corner again. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I want to do a little clothesline. I thought it would be really cute to have the little outfits hanging on a little clothesline. So I am going to just place the clothesline. Maybe I'll bring that down just a little bit. That looks about right. Okay, I'm going to place that, I think that's center right there. I feel like I want to bring it down just a tiny bit. Oh, the decisions. I think that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close my positioner here. Okay. And then what I'll do, make sure that's realigned, stamp that, and then get a really cute little clothesline on the base of my little panel here. And I love the little, ooh, I think I'm gonna one and done that. But you know what? Since I doubled up the other ones, what I'll do is I'll double up this just so that everything is consistent. Make sure that the contrast and the tone is all consistent. But I love the little bows on the left and to the right of the little clothesline. I think that's so cute. Okay. That should do the trick. That looks great. Okay, so now what I need to do, clean this off once more. Okay, I am going to now start my coloring. So let's move this over and then let's get to coloring the little clothes and birds that will then decorate the front of this card. Okay, bringing my little stamped images, a little bit. And I like just to tape down my paper. That way everything just stays where I'd like it while I am coloring and creating. Okay, so let's see here. I have some colors pulled that I wanted to use. I'm going to do the little pajamas in this really pretty kind of mint color. But I pulled two colors. I pulled Green Shadow, which is G420, and then Horizon Green, which is the G340. And I believe all of the colors I'm using today are from the pastel collection. So I'll link that down below as well. I'm going to use the fine tip. Let me see. Sometimes I forget which color is darker, so I just do a little test on my paper here. I think this is going to be the lighter. Correct. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my lighter color, and I am simply going to just start coloring on or coloring in this little pajama set. And I'm going to do just the body of it, and then I'll leave those little embellishments like the neckline and the little arm areas. I'm going to do those in that darker shade, and then I'll also do some additional shading. But I love this color. It's so nice and pretty. And again, I like to start with my light color and then transition to dark, then go back to light. I'm just going to use two colors. I tend to only use two colors when I am coloring. Certainly you can use more, but I have found that two is plenty for me, at least right now. And so that's where I'm at. Okay, so I'm going to use this color just to do the little neckline and where the little wrists are, just to add just a tiny bit. And the colors are so similar that you can barely tell anyway. But then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come to the left side, and I'm going to bring in just a little bit of the darker color just along the left areas. Right there, right there. I'm also going to come down right where the buttons are, and then down kind of this little leg area. Okay, then what I'll do is I will bring this back in, my lighter color, but this time I'll use the brush tip, and then I will just pull that color out. So I'm just kind of pulling that darker color that I brought in out into the light. And then anywhere I did that, I'll just kind of pull out. And it ends up looking really nice. And the more you kind of let it settle, the nicer it looks. It just kind of really evens out. Okay, so that is where I'm going to go with the first little set. Again, you can continue coloring or you can stop there. So I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to move on to the little overalls. And for the overalls, I am going to do, I think this is the one I'm going to use. This is the B250 light blue. I believe that's the one I would like. Let me just double check. Yes, I really like that. Okay, I think I'm just going to blend with one color here. So I'm going to go ahead and color the entire little overall piece. And then I'll come back in with the same marker and just do a little shading. And then what I'm going to do is I am just going to take the same marker, but I'm going to come back through, and I'm just going to be more bold, maybe a few little strokes along that left side. So I'm going to go along the left side of this overall here, and then I'm going to focus on the pocket, the left side of the pocket. Like that, again, going for the brush tip just to kind of pull it out. And I really do like how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to let it kind of settle. And then while that's settling, let's move on to the last one. So the last one, again, I'm going to do one color of blending for this color as well. This is, let's see here, MG020, which is a blue-gray. And I just really liked how these three colors were kind of a nice trio together. So I'm going to bring that in for my little onesie or baby bodysuit and color that in really nice. And just like that. And then again, using that fine tip. I like the fine tip for the initial coloring, especially because I feel like the stamp sets are pretty small, right? And then grabbing that same color, I'm going to come in along the left side and just really add maybe some 2 or 3 bold little areas here. I think that's kind of it for me. I like to keep it pretty simple. Let me go one more just to give a little bit more contrast. Okay, flipping it over to the brush and brushing out. Just kind of fade it in. I like how that looks. Okay, so I think it's all going to just settle in and look really good. I feel like the longer you let it set, the better it starts looking. Okay, now let's move on to the little birds. So I have quite a few colors. I have yellow, buttercup, and cream. The yellow buttercup, I believe, is what I'm using for my buttons. Yes. So I'm just going to bring these up and place those really simply on my buttons there. Very nice. And that's a way that I'm going to tie in the birds and the little pieces of clothing, just by bringing in a color that's going to somewhat match. Okay, and then I have this nice cream color, and I'm just going to double check. That is actually, believe it or not, the darker of the two. So I'm going to start with, which is really funny, right? I feel like yellow buttercup and cream would be the lighter of the two. So what I did was I created a little swatch set, and I use the swatch set more than I use the caps because I feel like the caps may be a little confusing to me. They aren't really perfect replicas of what the color actually looks like. So I reference these. These came with the actual marker set, so it really helped me kind of get to know the colors, but also practice some blending as well. So they're a great reference when starting out. Okay, so let's see. The yellow buttercup is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to grab the fine tip of that, and I'll just color in that little bird really nice. So cute, very simple. And I'll do the exact same to the little friend bird here. Again, this is yellow buttercup Y120. Okay, and that is it. Bringing in my darker color, again, which is the cream YR240, using that fine point, I'm just going to go along the left side and just bring in a little bit more. It's kind of an orange look. And I'm going to go kind of along the bottom. And then for this one, I am going to go along the beak area and belly. And then I'm going to bring this all the way down. And then I'll also go right under this little wing here. Okay, grabbing the lighter of my two yellows again, but this time the brush, and just bringing and brushing that darker shade into the lighter. Okay, and that will just even out and look really nice. Finally, I'm going to use this light orange YR070, locating that fine point. We have just simple beaks here. They are so tiny that no blending or shadowing or shading is necessary. They're so teeny tiny. Okay, so there we have it. So I'm going to take this off. I'll show you how it's looking. I think that's looking really, really nice. Super fun. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to grab the little coordinating dies, and I'm going to make sure that I get them all placed nicely. I kind of keep all of my little prepped items in a bin so that I don't lose anything while I am initially working on them. Okay, so we have this little guy, although sorry about the little jingling noise there. That can be a tad obnoxious in terms of sound. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up just as perfect as I can. That looks good to me. And then I'm just going to use a little tape to secure that. That way the little die doesn't move. Then I'll do my next one. And what I'll do is I'll just position all of my little dies around my stamped and colored images and get them ready to cut out. And finally, the last little bird. Looks like I have a tiny smudge where my ink from my original stamping kind of got, but that is okay. We're not aiming for perfection. We're just being caring with a card, right? Okay, so tape the last one, and now I'm going to send this through my little spell binders and get it all cut out. Okay, all those pieces are now done. This is my favorite part, seeing that little shadow layer. How precious is that? So cute. So I'm just going to start organizing everything. And I like to just kind of keep my dies organized as I go, only because they're very tiny. I feel like I could lose them, and if I just kind of keep organized as I craft, I feel a little bit more confident. There we go. Super, super sweet. A little off center on that one, but it's gonna be okay. Okay, and then our little jammies with this pretty mint color. Just looks so nice. There's this one. Whoops, there we go. And our little birds. Okay, so 1 and 2. How cute. And I really like the blending on those little birdies. They're really sweet. Okay, I'm really liking the color choices and how everything turned out. So fun, so sweet. And I didn't need my second set. Now, as I was saying, these are just a little bold. Do you see how that just got just a tad misaligned? So it's a little bit bold. But do you think I should throw these away? Because I don't. I think they are perfect for another card. So I'll probably tuck these away. And something that would bother my eye would definitely not bother the eye of my recipient. I'm sure somebody wouldn't say, oh, those lines are just a tad bold. So keep these around and, you know, either practice coloring on them, practice your blending, or just recreate another card. Because honestly, initially you might panic and think, oops, I didn't stamp that perfectly, but no one's going to know the wiser, and don't waste the paper. Okay, so now let's go ahead and bring back that base panel that we're going to work on. And what I'm going to do here is I am going to place this panel here, but I want to kind of get an idea for what I want to do with the bottom half. So I want to make sure that the cute little clothes are hanging here. And then I know I want to do a sentiment down here, but what I'm thinking is this is kind of a lot of boring space down here. And I know negative space is super nice, right? We aim for some negative space. It's really pleasing to the eye. But I think what I want to do is I want to take an embossing folder. And I can't remember where I got this, but I just think it's so pretty. I also think it looks kind of baby boyish. So what I want to do is, instead of embossing the entire thing, I think I'm just going to emboss the bottom half-ish. And I think it'll just add some, it's going to still have that negative, you know, white space, but it's going to add a little visual interest just so that it's not completely boring, right? I'll show you what I mean. So let me go ahead and just take my little panel off for just a moment. I'm going to take my embossing folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line this up. Let me see which way I want it to go. I think I want it to go this way so that my little dots are poking up. Okay, so I'm going to aim for about half of my panel. Doesn't have to be perfectly half. And what I'll do is I'll put, oh, I think that looks good. I think I might bring it up just a tad more. Okay, I like that. And I'm just bringing this in so I kind of know, I really like that. Okay, maybe a little bit less. This is the indecisiveness of me at work right now. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this through my spellbinders. And when I'm embossing, I like to use one piece of cardstock shim. It just works for me. So I just keep a long piece of 110-pound cardstock, and that's how I kind of create my sandwich. So I have my base plate here, and then I have my bottom plate, which is all, you know, gross and scratched up, but it's doing what a bottom plate does. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my cardstock. Again, that's just acting as a shim. Then I will place my piece of paper with the, or inside of the embossed folder. And then I will just send it through my machine just like this. Okay, so I sent that through off camera, and look how neat that looks. So it's simple, but it's there. And I really appreciate that. I think it's really nice. So now I will start working on, let's see, what I'll do next is, actually I'm going to bring my Misti out because I want to put some little, this little set also comes with the little oh, they're right here. They are a little clothespin, and I want to do that. I think it'll be a nice little touch. So let's go ahead and get the little clothespins on the line there. Okay. So Misti is coming back in. Let's move some of these things off. And I will bring, making sure I don't lose any of my clothes because I'm going to use the little clothing for the next little part here. Okay, placing, I think I'm going to place this here. I don't want it to ruin my little embossed, well, it shouldn't. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring the first one in, and I'm just going to kind of use it to know where I need to place my little clothespins. So if I want my little pajamas right here, I need to put my clothespin there. Okay, so that looks good. Then I can remove that. Make sure this is nice. Okay, grab my stamp. Good. Reposition the cardstock. Good. Stamp. Okay, maybe we can do this in one pass. And it bothers me when I get a little bit on the door. And I know it shouldn't matter, but I just like to remedy that. Okay. Stamp down. One and done. Okay, so there are my first two clothespins. I'm going to clean these as I go just so I don't accidentally get ink where ink should not be as I'm positioning. Okay, so bringing this little cutie back in, placing it here. That way I know where I want my next one. So I want my next one here. Okay, so then I know I need my little clothespins here. Okay, and the reason I had that pencil out is because I can't remember who I learned it from, but your fingers kind of cling to the stamp. But if you use a pencil eraser, you can kind of move that around and manipulate just that part without having it cling if you're using the little eraser part. Okay, bring that back, reposition. Okay, ink up my tiny little clothespins. Okay, and stamp that down. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, so clean, and then align. Oh, come on, little guy. Align, and then align. Okay. So that should go there. I think that looks good. Oh, Bethany. Oh, Bethany. Sometimes aiming for perfection gets you further from perfection. Okay. I think that looks good. Yes? Yes. Okay. Come here. Let's close this. Let's see. Was this realigned? I think so. Close this. Realign. And now done. Okay. We are nearing the finish line. It is assembling itself together at this point. Okay, here we go. Oh, I like that. Okay, cleaning this up, putting it back. Everything is still where it needs to be. And now we can start assembling this little card. So let's start grabbing some foam tape and getting everything all placed on the card and bringing it all together. Okay, bringing this little guy out, and here's our panel. Here we go. And now I'm going to use just some little foam squares, and I'm going to apply them to the back of my little pieces here. Just a couple on each one. And yes, okay, then I'll take these off, making it a double-sided adhesive, and let's get these placed on the card. Okay, this one will go here. Love that. And now let's do the overalls. Again, just a couple. I'm obsessed with these foam squares. They are so easy to use. And I bought nothing short of 1,000,000 packs. I went a little crazy. When you find something you like, you make sure you're stocked up, right? Okay, there's that one. And finally, the little baby bodysuit. Don't you love the little colors, how they all came together? I think they're just nice and soft. So cute. Okay. Then, final little piece here. And I think that looks wonderful. Okay, let's do a birdie. I think the birdie I want is this little guy looking towards the left of the card. And we'll just do one little square on him. Okay. And then I'm going to save my other birdie because I need to do my sentiment. This one's going to go here. I like that. But my other one I want to bring down and kind of tie it into my sentiment. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my, let's grab the Misti once more, and I'm going to do some heat embossing. And I think I'm going to try, I was originally going to go with gold, but I think I'm going to try black because I just bought some black embossing powder, and I think that will look just really nice and polished and just kind of sleek. Okay, so grabbing my Misti once more. This is the craft for the Misti today. Okay, I am going to grab just a piece of scrap cardstock. Always keep off the little trimming pieces that you do because, don't you go anywhere, birdie, because you can use them. You can, especially when you're working on projects that are A2 size, they're teeny tiny, scraps can go a long way. So let me grab my stamps once more, and I want to say, welcome baby boy. I think that will be really nice. And I really want to do it because the welcome is a different font than the baby boy, and that makes me the happiest. I love pairing fonts. It's just so cute. Okay, so welcome and baby boy. Whoops, this way. Let me bring, whoop, butterfingers. Okay, let me bring my pencil in to kind of help me position this. Kind of want it, they're two separate ones, of course, because then you could do welcome baby girl if you want, and I think that looks good. Okay, just kind of lining them up together. I'm going to go with it. And I'm going to stamp this with Versamark. And then we can get some embossing powder on this. So before that, I'm going to put some anti-static powder on my paper. And this is just going to make it so that the embossing powder is only going to stick where I stamp and not just cling all over the paper. I do have my little brush handy for if I have any whoopsies, but let's see if we can do it without using the brush. Okay. Okay, let me see. I think that actually looks really good. So let me put this to the side. I'll clean this off later. I tend to clean my Versamark off a little bit later only because I kind of want to run with the wet stamped image as quickly as I can. I just got some new black. This is the first time I'm using it, so I thought this would be a good one to use it on. And this is the fine detail. I'm just gonna let that set for a second. Okay. I'm gonna give it just a little bit more and let it set. Okay, I have a little bit of cleaning up to do. So I just bought this little angle brush, and it's a little angle makeup brush, and I got it at Dollar Tree. It came with a little pink tip, which means I had to have it, and also it was $1.25, and it came in a pack of let me see, maybe not, maybe this was an individual. I was gonna say it came in a pack, but I think I'm fibbing there. Okay, that looks good. Just getting any embossing powder that shouldn't, where I didn't want it, I'm getting that off. Okay, I'm gonna set this to the side, then I will heat set that in just a second, but save the rest of this so that I save every last bit. There we go. That may be my favorite embossing yet. That black, oh, I cannot show it on camera. It's not doing it justice. It's got such a pretty shine to it. I love it so much. Okay, so now let me go ahead and let's just trim this down. And I think, you know, I don't think I have a layer die that is going to cut this out. I think I'm just going to do it with my paper trimmer. So I'm going to grab my little paper trimmer here, good enough. I'll just trim it down how I would like. So I'm thinking right about here. And oh, that's not bad actually. Yay. Okay. Sometimes it can be a tad tricky, especially when you kind of rely on the little dies. Okay. And just a little bit off of the bottom as well. And I think we're golden. I really do. Okay. Let's see. Whoop. Not sure what I'm doing there. Oh, you know what? I like it. Yes. One and done. Okay. I love this. This little tiny paper trimmer. Definitely 10 stars. Okay. Or is it 5 stars? I can't remember. As many stars as I can give it, I will give it. Okay. So grabbing my card base here, and I'm going to score this so that I can start assembling this whole base. Okay, so standard A2 card. Then we're gonna have to do a little cleanup before the next part. I need to get the gift done. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I have this at 4 1/4 by, let's see, what do I have this at? Yeah, 4 1/4 by 11. Is that right? Yes. 4 1/4 by 11, so that I can score it at 5 1/2. That's my midpoint. And then we'll make an A2 card. Okay, grabbing my little bone folder, I'm going to fold. And let's just score this down. Okay, and then we will get everything assembled. I love ending my day with card making because it's become one of my, one of the most relaxing parts of crafting for me lately. I feel like I go through some phases with crafting where certain things relax me more than others, and lately I've been really relaxed with card making, so it's just a great way to end the day. So you see that nice framed area around the card? I think that looks so nice. So let me grab some foam tape. I think the coloring paired with, I don't know, just the stamping and the Misti, all of it's just really relaxing to me. I'm not sure why, but I'm running with it. And you know, sometimes you just do everything that makes you happy. And right now the card making is super fun and makes me happy. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3. And there we go. Okay, I think I need to trim just a little bit up here. Okay, just removing the tape. I have a little something there. Whoops. There we go. And then there we go. That looks very good. Okay, keeping it really simple with this one, I'm just going to do one little strip. I do want to pop that up because it just looks so polished and nice when done. So I'm going to add one strip there. And then I'm going to place, ooh, I like that a lot. I'm going to place that right in the middle. Okay. Oh, and I love the embossed background. It's just so simple, but it's there. You know, it's not this showstopper, right? But it's there, and it's just the supporting actor, right? Okay, grabbing my last bird, and I'm gonna grab those little foam dots. Now, what I want to do here is I want this little bird to kind of be, yeah, you know, I'm just gonna pop. I was gonna just kind of nestle him in, but I'm just gonna pop him right up on that sentiment. It's gonna be just fine. Just have a little extra dimension there, and I am fine with that. I think it kind of ties in the sentiment to the rest of the card too. And then I like how that yellow is, you know, right here and then down below as well. But that's where I'm going to stop. I really like this card. I think it turned out really pretty. And I really, really like that embossed effect down there. That's really nice. Okay, so here's the card. I am not going to stamp inside. I want to leave plenty of room to write, I think. But there are a lot of fun things. Oh, you know what? No, I have to. You know what? I have to, because you know what? There's one that says, and more laundry. I can't not. I'm not confident enough with free range stamping, so I'm going to bring my Misti back in. I can't not do this though. Okay. I have to. And more laundry, because is that not the truth? The laundry is such a huge part of the whole thing in motherhood now. Let me know what your laundry schedule is. I used to, well, I go back and forth. Sometimes I do it one load every day. And now I'm kind of doing twice a week. Like I'll do Monday and Friday. But I think every season it kind of changes, right? Especially like, I feel like the summer season, you want to do it more often because you're like always doing swim clothes and all, you know, all the things that they want to wear over and over. But during the school year, you can kind of get away with twice a week. It's always changing. Okay, and more laundry. Make sure you're good there. Okay. One and done. Looks great. How cute. Oh. Welcome, baby boy, and more laundry. Oh, I love it. Oh, so cute. Okay, I am going to clean up because it is a disaster on my craft table. So I'm going to clean up real quick, and then we're going to bring in the next little part of this video, which is going to be the gift. Okay, nothing feels better than a fresh, clean slate. So the next thing I want to do is, I thought it would be really pretty. I have had this forever, so I don't have a source for this. I believe I got it from a blanks company that just sells, you know, blanks for embroidery and cricketing and things like that. But let's just leave this out here because it's just so cute. So I got this really pretty burp cloth. I also got, if you remember my Christmas video, was it Christmas? I don't know. There was another video where I did an embroidered bib, and it was a ruffle bib. It was so pretty. So what I'm going to do for this little boy is I'm going to monogram his initials on this little burp cloth. I thought that would be really cute. So because this has been in my stash just waiting for someone to have a baby, I'm going to go ahead and iron this and get it all ready to go, and then I'm going to place his monogram right on here. So let me grab my iron, and then we'll get this all prepped and ready to put on the embroidery machine. Okay, so I am going to set everything respectfully to the side for a moment. I just like everything to be just so before I get it monogrammed. Get it all nice. And what I'll do is let's just focus. Well, you know, being myself, I'm going to just iron the whole thing, right? Okay, maybe I'll move you here. Grabbing my lint roller. I'm doing really good at shopping my craft space. Yes, I have bought quite a few stamping things because, you know, every once in a while you start something new and you just kind of have to go all in, right? But I've been doing really good at looking through my space for, you know, things I can use for gift giving, and this has just been waiting patiently for, you know, a little baby shower or baby gift. Okay, I'm gonna do, I know I'm not gonna get it perfect, but better is better. Just a little bit here, and I'll just flip that over and do this side as well. Okay, here we go. I have been doing so much monogramming lately as I am getting us ready for summer. Which, you know, there's really no excuse for that, but I just feel like anytime I need to get ready for something, I have to monogram all the things. So summer's a good excuse. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Durkee Easy Frame, and I'm just going to patch this. I'm just going to grab a piece of sticky stabilizer and patch it. I have some there, as you can see, monogramming, but when I can save stabilizer, I like to patch a time or two just to cut down on the costs. Okay, so just patched over that area that's hollow and allows me to continue. Okay, there we go. Now what I want to do is I'm going to grab a little piece. See how it's just nice and ready to go there? I'm going to grab a piece of poly mesh cutaway. And this is what I like to use on the insides of my shirts. And the reason I'm going to use it on the back of my little burp cloth here is because I feel like sticky tearaway is really hard to remove sometimes. So I find if I put something as a barrier in between the garment and the sticky tearaway, I'm much happier. So I'm just going to kind of cut this to size and iron it on the back. That way, once my embroidery is done, I'll show you and you'll see it kind of take shape. The sticky will just be on this and it will easily come off instead of being stuck to the garment. Okay, so I'm gonna go for the corner area. You can do this any way you'd like. First, what I'll do is I'll place my monogram here. I believe my monogram, I really want to say I got this monogram set from Planet Applique. I'll try to link it down below if I can find it. But I printed and sized everything in Brilliance. And then that way, once I print it, it's true to size. That way I can really visualize what it's going to look like in the end. Of course, I can use different thread colors, and I will in this particular instance. I'm going to thread match to my card. And in fact, I matched my card to my thread, if we're being really honest. I think that looks good. So now that I have this here, what I can do is turn this over and kind of get an idea for where that poly mesh needs to go, which is, it seems like right here. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick little iron just to get that down. This is a fusible. Quick, quick, quick. Good to go. And now I'm going to bring in my Durkee Easy Frame and I'm going to float this on my frame. So which way? I'm going to do it this way. That way the bulk, this is how I'm going to put it on my machine. That way the bulk of my material can be at the, you know, coming out the front. It's not going to be bunched up in the back. And I'm just going to center this the best that I can. Okay. That feels really good. And I can feel where my frame is, knowing that my design is not going anywhere near my frame, which means my needle will go, not go anywhere near my frame. So that's great. Bringing in my little sewing clips. I did get this little bin at Hobby Lobby. I am only mentioning that because I've had a few questions about this little guy a time or two. So in case you're wondering where that bin is, I think it came in a 2-pack. And I'm just going to really secure this. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to bring up this design on my embroidery machine and get it all ready to stitch out. Okay, so I have my embroidery design loaded, and the only thing I need to do is just make sure on my machine that I do rotate it so that the image on my screen matches here, because as you can see, this is upside down just because of the way I wanted to float it. So I just need to make sure that on my machine my image is upside down as well. And now it is. So now what I can do is just center it, and you'll see this little laser. And what I'm going to do is just make sure that that center is in the middle of my crosshairs. That way my machine knows where center is. And that looks good to me. Okay, because this frame did not come with my machine, I'm going to trace just to make sure my needle's not going to go anywhere near the edge. Looks good. I can follow the laser light and see that it's not going anywhere near the edge of my frame. So now I can just simply change my thread color and stitch out. And I think, did I want to do this color? I'm trying to remember what I set aside for this one. I actually think I'm going to do this really nice blue. I think it'll be really pretty. Okay, so change out my thread and this will just stitch out. Okay, everything is all ready. Everything's threaded. I'm simply going to remove my design. Make sure everything is still placed down really nicely. And let's get going. That is so pretty. And okay, so it took 9 minutes to stitch out. Minus I had to change my bobbin, I think within the first letter. And I knew it was running low because I've been quilting behind the scenes quite a bit. And just today I had checked it earlier and I knew it was running low. And I thought, you know what, bobbin's gonna run out of me during this project. But back to what I was originally gonna say, that took me 9 minutes, or it took the machine 9 minutes to do. And of course, usually, you know, one should be doing other things in their craft space, maybe prepping another craft, cleaning up, but here I am just sitting and literally watching it stitch out. I think it's the most relaxing thing ever to do, is just watch it. I just sit there and enjoy it. Okay, going into the back, so do you see how nicely that just peeled away from the poly mesh? So I feel like the sticky comes off of the poly mesh so much nicer than it does the material. That's just my opinion though. If it works better for you, then yay. But I just like putting this little barrier in between my garment and my sticky, and so far it's been a really good little trick for me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just trim that poly mesh cutaway, and I'll again link everything that I'm using down below, but I'm gonna trim that as, you know, kind of give a nice outline to the stitches I have there. Okay, there we go. That looks really good. And then I just iron it down. Now you could cover this if you wanted, maybe with some tender touch if you were worried about it, but honestly, I'm not going to cover it. It's never really, it's not like a shirt or anything that's going to irritate, you know, skin, and usually you use that kind of stuff on something that will be touching skin to make it softer. However, I'm just trimming some of these little threads actually. However, this really isn't going to have that purpose. So I'm not going to worry about it. You can go ahead and do however you want, especially if you want to, you know, cover up the back. But honestly, that's the back, and I think that that looks pretty darn pretty. So it's going to be just fine in my opinion. But go ahead and take an extra step if you feel that you would like to. I'm just ironing down that poly mesh just to make it look even cleaner. Okay, so there we go. I love it. That thread color is so pretty as well. And I love that I shopped my craft space and was able to come up with a really nice card and baby gift all in one little evening. Okay, so everything came together so pretty. Thanks so much for hanging out with me as I did a little late night crafting, but every once in a while you just have to really hustle and get a baby gift out the door, and that's what I got done tonight. So I'm really excited. This turned out beautifully. I love this thread color. I think it just, the contrast is beautiful, and I love how it coordinates so well with the card too. I think both of them just have my heart poured into them, and I really, really love how everything turned out. And then of course we have the inside that says and more laundry, and that just cracks me up. That just is a cute little addition to the card. It makes it really fun and classy, and then just a kind of a cute little funny inside, because we all could use a little funny sometimes, right? So again, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me as I got a little bit of gift giving and crafting done this evening, and I hope that you were inspired in some way. Be sure to let me know how you liked this in the comment section down below, and also be sure to check out that description box down below in case you want a closer look at any of the materials and items that I used in this video. Have a great day, and thanks again for watching.